Discipline over motivation is the difference between the ones who dream and the ones who win, between those who start strong and those who actually finish the race. Motivation is a feeling, a temporary spark. It comes and goes depending on your mood, your energy, your environment, but discipline is not built on feelings. It is built on choices, repeated actions, and the commitment to do what must be done even when everything inside you screams to quit. Motivation might get you started, but it will never keep you going when life punches you in the mouth. Motivation dies the moment you are tired, the moment you are sore, the moment you don't see immediate results. But discipline is the backbone that stands tall regardless of pain, regardless of tiredness, regardless of doubt. Discipline is waking up at 5 in the morning not because you felt like it, but because you said you would. It is showing up in the gym when it is raining. It is staying up late to finish the work when everyone else is out chasing pleasure. It is sticking to the plan when your emotions wander. Think about every champion, every great achiever you've ever admired. Do you think they relied on motivation to show up every single day? Do you think they always felt inspired to train, to study, to grind? No, they built a system around discipline, a way of living where their actions were not guided by emotions but by principles. They knew that discipline beats talent, discipline beats luck. Discipline even beats intelligence when intelligence is lazy. The world is full of people who were motivated for a week, for a month, maybe even a year, but they faded away because motivation cannot sustain greatness. Discipline, however, compounds. Every small act of discipline builds into momentum. Every repetition done without excuses builds a wall of strength. Every choice to honor your commitment makes quitting less and less an option until discipline becomes your identity. The undisciplined man waits for the right mood. The disciplined man creates the right conditions. The undisciplined man says, "I'll start tomorrow." The disciplined man acts now. The undisciplined man listens to his feelings. The disciplined man commands his feelings. Discipline is not glamorous, it is not exciting, it is often boring, repetitive, and thankless, but it is in those repetitive actions that real progress is made. You don't become fit by training only when you feel motivated. You become fit by training consistently, whether you feel like it or not. You don't build wealth by working only when inspiration strikes. You build it by showing up every day, learning, executing, sacrificing leisure for progress. You don't become respected by only speaking words. You become respected by living a life of disciplined actions that prove your character. Motivation can light a fire, but discipline keeps it burning when the winds of doubt and hardship blow. Discipline is the ability to keep promises to yourself. Most people lie to themselves daily. They say they will change. They say they will wake up early. They say they will stop procrastinating. But when the time comes, they fold. That is weakness, and weakness destroys dreams. But when you develop discipline, your word becomes law, not just to others but to yourself. And when you trust yourself to follow through, you become unstoppable. Discipline gives you confidence because you know you can rely on yourself, not on luck, not on inspiration, not on moods. That self-trust is priceless. People often ask how to stay motivated. Wrong question. The question is how to stay disciplined, because discipline does not care how you feel. It's like a soldier obeying orders. It executes regardless of fatigue, regardless of comfort. And the beauty is, once discipline is forged, motivation begins to follow it. When you act disciplined, results come, and results fuel motivation. Discipline is the cause, motivation is the effect, not the other way around. If you wait for motivation to build discipline, you will never start. But if you force discipline, motivation eventually rises to meet it. Discipline is freedom. It sounds like a paradox, but it is the truth. The man who is disciplined has control over his body, his mind, his habits, his time. He does not live as a slave to cravings, temptations, distractions, or laziness. He is free to create, free to achieve, free to shape his life because he has mastered himself. The undisciplined man is a prisoner. He is chained by his moods, dragged by his urges, ruled by his weaknesses. He says he is free because he does whatever he feels like, but that is not freedom, that is slavery to impulse. True freedom is choosing to do what is necessary even when it is hard. There will be days when you despise the grind, when you hate the repetition, when every part of you wants to take the easy road. Those are the defining moments, because that is where discipline is either strengthened or destroyed. When you push through, when you force yourself to do it anyway, you add another layer of steel to your character. The more you win those battles, the less control your weakness has over you. Eventually, discipline becomes automatic. It becomes who you are. You no longer need to think about whether or not to act, you just do, because discipline is your new instinct. If you want to win in life, you must worship discipline more than motivation. You must structure your days, your routines, your environment to support discipline. Remove temptations, remove distractions, remove anything that feeds weakness. Surround yourself with reminders of your mission. Discipline thrives in structure, dies in chaos, and when discipline is strong, you cannot be stopped, because even when others are distracted, you remain focused. Even when others quit, you keep going. Even when others waste time, you invest it. The truth is, the world does not reward the motivated, it rewards the disciplined. The motivated get applause, the disciplined get results. The motivated talk about their dreams, the disciplined build them. The motivated impress for a moment, the disciplined dominate for a lifetime. If you want to rise above mediocrity, if you want to taste victory, then stop worshiping motivation and start mastering discipline. Because when you have discipline, you no longer need to rely on fleeting emotions. You own yourself, and when you own yourself, you own your future. Pain is the path to power, because every ounce of strength, every shred of resilience, every level of greatness comes with a cost, and that cost is always pain. People want success, but they don't want to suffer. They want power, but they don't want pressure. They want results, but they don't want sacrifice. And that is exactly why they stay average. The truth is simple. Nothing worth having in life comes without pain. The gym hurts, but it builds muscle. The grind hurts, but it builds wealth. The heartbreak hurts, but it builds emotional strength. Every champion you've ever admired has walked through hell and bled for their dreams, while the crowd looked for shortcuts and excuses. Pain is not your enemy. It is the currency you pay to purchase the life you want. If you run from pain, you run from progress. If you hide from pain, you hide from power. Think about the strongest people in history. None of them became who they were because life was easy. They were forged through loss, rejection, defeat, hunger, and war. They did not beg for comfort. They embraced the storm. That storm hardened them into something unbreakable. You must understand that the human body and mind only grow when challenged. A muscle that never faces resistance will never grow. A mind that never suffers will never become sharp. A soul that never feels pain will never know strength. Pain is the proof that you are alive, that you are fighting, that you are moving forward while others are stuck in mediocrity. The difference between the weak and the powerful is not the absence of pain, it is how they respond to it. The weak collapse, they quit, they drown in self-pity. The powerful embrace it, they learn from it, they use it as fuel. Every time life knocks them down, they rise harder. Every time they suffer, they grow. Pain is the teacher that weakness fears but greatness respects. Without pain, there is no hunger to improve, no reason to fight, no drive to evolve. That is why those who chase comfort remain powerless. Comfort is a coffin where dreams are buried alive. Pain is the fire that burns away weakness and leaves only strength. When you lift weights and your body screams for you to stop, that scream is weakness leaving your body. When you run and your lungs burn, that burn is proof of growth. When you push through rejection, when you endure heartbreak, when you take losses, those scars are not signs of failure. They are medals of survival. Pain is the reminder that you are paying the price required to rise. Do not curse pain, thank it, because it is showing you that you are moving into a version of yourself, the old you could never handle. The truth is, you will never escape pain. Whether you chase success or you stay average, pain will find you. If you work hard, you will feel the pain of exhaustion, the pain of sacrifice, the pain of discipline. But if you are lazy, you will feel the pain of regret, the pain of weakness, the pain of wasted potential. Either way, life will hurt. The question is, will you choose the pain that makes you stronger or the pain that destroys you? The pain of discipline weighs ounces, the pain of regret weighs tons. Which pain do you want to carry? Every time you run from pain, you hand over your power. Every time you endure it, you take power back. Pain is how you earn respect for yourself. Pain is how you build the confidence to stand tall when others bow down. Pain is how you prove to yourself that nothing can break you. Power does not come from comfort, it comes from suffering, endured and conquered. Nobody respects the man who has had everything easy, but everyone respects the man who has been through hell and still stands tall. You have to change how you see pain. Most people see it as punishment, but winners see it as progress. Most people complain about it, winners chase it. Winners know that behind every painful repetition, behind every sleepless night, behind every tough decision lies growth. They understand that pain is temporary, but the power it gives is permanent. The body heals, the heart recovers, the mind adapts, but the strength you gain from enduring pain stays with you forever. When life gets hard, when everything feels heavy, when nothing goes your way, that is your invitation to power. That is life testing you, asking you if you are worthy of the next level. You don't level up by avoiding the fight, you level up by going through it. Pain sharpens you, it prepares you, it strips away the weakness that comfort has built around you. Every scar tells a story of survival, every bruise tells a story of persistence, every hardship tells a story of transformation. So the next time pain shows up, smile at it, welcome it. Tell yourself that this is the toll you must pay to enter greatness. While others cry about their problems, you will embrace yours. While others fold under pressure, you will become unshakable. Pain is not the wall that stops you, it is the door you must walk through to unlock your power. And once you learn to love it, once you learn to endure it, once you learn to harness it, there is no man alive who can break you. Power is not handed out, it is not gifted, it is not inherited. It is earned through sweat, blood, and suffering. It is earned by choosing the hard road when the easy one is available. It is earned by embracing pain as the tool that forges your destiny. Stop running, stop hiding, stop wishing for comfort. Start embracing the grind, start facing the suffering, start loving the burn. Because only then will you discover the strength inside you that has been waiting all along. Pain is the path to power, and those willing to walk it are the ones who will rule their world. Mindset makes the difference because every battle in life is first fought inside the mind before it is ever fought in the real world. You can have the strongest body, the best opportunities, the greatest tools, but if your mind is weak, you will still find a way to lose. On the other hand, you can come from nothing, have no resources, no support, and yet if your mind is unshakable, you will still find a way to win. Life is not about what happens to you, it is about how you think about what happens to you. Two people can face the same storm. One sees disaster, the other sees opportunity. One quits, the other adapts. The storm is the same, the outcome is different, and the difference is mindset. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your greatest enemy. If you don't control it, it will control you. It will whisper lies, it will magnify fear, it will exaggerate obstacles, it will tell you that you are not good enough, not strong enough, not smart enough. Most people live enslaved by these lies. They believe the negative voice inside them, and because they believe it, they stop trying. But winners train their mind to obey, not to sabotage. Winners program their thoughts with discipline, with focus, with belief, so that when fear shows up, they see courage when doubt arrives, they see determination when obstacles appear, they see strategy. Mindset is not something you are born with, it is something you build. You build it by controlling what you feed your brain. You feed it discipline instead of excuses, resilience instead of weakness, solutions instead of problems. If you spend your days surrounded by negativity, gossip, fear, and laziness, your mind will reflect that. But if you surround yourself with challenges, with knowledge, with strong people, with purposeful goals, your mind will evolve into a fortress. Whatever goes into your mind eventually comes out in your actions. Garbage in, garbage out, strength in, strength out. Every achievement in your life will start with a thought. That thought becomes a belief. That belief shapes your actions, and those actions create your results. If your thoughts are small, your life will be small. If your beliefs are weak, your results will be weak. But if your mind is filled with powerful thoughts, unbreakable beliefs, and relentless focus, your results will reflect greatness. This is why mindset makes the difference, because your mind sets the ceiling for how far you can go. Change your mind and you change your life. Most people fail not because they don't have the ability, but because their mind convinces them to quit before they even begin. The fear of failure destroys them more than failure itself. But here is the truth: failure is never final until you accept it. Every failure is just feedback. Every rejection is redirection. Every setback is preparation for a comeback. A strong mindset understands this and uses every defeat as fuel for growth. A weak mindset takes every defeat as proof they were never good enough. The difference is not in what happens, but in how the mind interprets it. Your mind has two voices. One is the voice of weakness, doubt, fear, laziness. It tells you to sleep in, to take it easy, to give up when it hurts. The other is the voice of strength, courage, and determination. It tells you to get up, to keep pushing, to stay disciplined. The voice you feed is the one that wins. Every time you obey the voice of weakness, it grows louder. Every time you obey the voice of strength, it grows stronger. Your mindset is built in these tiny daily battles, and over time those battles shape who you are. There will always be challenges, storms, pain, and suffering. You cannot control everything outside of you, but you can always control your mind. That is your power. When life breaks most people, mindset is the reason some stand tall. When others see impossible, mindset is the reason some see possible. When others quit, mindset is the reason some keep fighting. Mindset is the armor that protects you from life's chaos. With the right mindset, nothing can destroy you. Without it, even the smallest problems will. Look at the greatest athletes, the greatest leaders, the most successful people. Their advantage is not just skill, it is mental toughness. When everyone else cracks under pressure, they rise. When everyone else doubts themselves, they believe. When everyone else panics, they stay calm. That is mindset. It's not that life is easier for them, it's that their mind is stronger. They have trained it to see challenges as opportunities, to see pain as growth, to see the fight as necessary. You have to decide what kind of mindset you will build. Will you build a fragile one that bends under pressure, or a powerful one that turns pressure into diamonds? Will you let your fears control your choices, or will you train your mind to act with courage despite fear? Fear will never fully disappear. Doubt will never fully go away, but you can choose not to let them control you. That is mindset. Every day you wake up, you have a choice: to think like a loser or to think like a winner. The loser mindset looks for excuses, blames circumstances, waits for luck, and quits when it gets hard. The winner mindset takes responsibility, adapts, creates opportunities, and refuses to quit. Both people live in the same world, but their mindset creates two completely different realities. So if you want to win in life, you must master your mind. Train it like you train a muscle. Push it, challenge it, discipline it. Read, learn, think deeply, guard it against negativity. Remind yourself every day that you are in control. When the voice of weakness whispers, drown it out with action. When fear rises, face it. When doubt attacks, fight back with belief. Over time, your mind will become a fortress that nothing can break. At the end of the day, mindset is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It is what separates those who quit from those who endure. It is what separates those who live in regret from those who live in victory. Your body can be broken, your resources can be limited, your circumstances can be brutal, but if your mindset is unshakable, you will still rise. That is why mindset makes the difference, because in the end, everything is built or broken in the mind before it ever happens in reality. Sacrifice creates legacy because nothing great has ever been built without giving something up. Every empire, every achievement, every legend you admire was forged through choices where someone decided that short-term comfort was not worth more than long-term greatness. People say they want success, they say they want to be remembered, but when it comes time to pay the price, they choose ease over effort, entertainment over work, distraction over focus, and then they wonder why their life feels empty. The truth is simple. Legacy is expensive and the currency is sacrifice. If you want to stand above the crowd, you cannot live like the crowd. If you want to be remembered, you cannot do what the forgettable masses do. Sacrifice is the doorway to a life that most people will never touch. The man who sacrifices sleep to work on his craft will surpass the man who sleeps in. The man who sacrifices parties and pleasure to grind on his vision will surpass the man who wastes his nights on temporary fun. The man who sacrifices excuses to choose discipline will surpass the man who talks about goals but never acts. Sacrifice hurts, it feels unfair, it feels heavy, but that is why so few people leave a legacy behind. They cannot handle the price, so they settle for mediocrity. Think about the greats, the athletes who trained while their friends relaxed, the entrepreneurs who reinvested every penny while their peers spent it on luxuries, the leaders who gave up their personal comfort to serve a vision bigger than themselves. They made sacrifices daily, and those sacrifices stacked up into greatness. People look at their success and call it luck, but they ignore the nights of hunger, the years of discipline, the countless no's. To distraction, they don't see what was given up to build what was gained. Sacrifice is invisible in the moment, but undeniable in the result. The truth is, you cannot have it all. You cannot live in comfort and expect to build power. You cannot waste time and expect to build wealth. You cannot chase every distraction and expect to create focus. You must choose. Every yes to your vision is a no to something else. Every step toward greatness requires leaving something behind. If you are not willing to sacrifice, you are not willing to win. Legacy is not built by the man who wants everything now. It is built by the man who can delay gratification, who can walk away from temporary pleasures for permanent impact. Sacrifice is not just about giving things up, it is about transforming yourself. When you sacrifice laziness, you build discipline. When you sacrifice weakness, you build resilience. When you sacrifice distractions, you build focus. Each sacrifice sharpens you into the kind of person who is capable of carrying the weight of legacy. Without sacrifice, you remain soft, untested, forgettable. With sacrifice, you become hardened, sharpened, and undeniable. People fear sacrifice because it feels like loss, but the truth is, sacrifice is the highest form of investment. Every hour you sacrifice for your dream compounds into results. Every dollar you sacrifice into growth compounds into wealth. Every moment of comfort you sacrifice compounds into strength. Sacrifice is not loss. It is the seed you plant that will grow into the tree of your legacy. The ones who refuse to sacrifice will spend their lives eating crumbs, while the ones who sacrifice feast on greatness. Ask yourself, what are you willing to give up? Because the answer to that question will determine how far you go. If you are unwilling to give up distractions, you will remain distracted. If you are unwilling to give up comfort, you will remain weak. If you are unwilling to give up temporary pleasures, you will remain trapped in mediocrity. Sacrifice is the filter that separates those who want from those who achieve. Everyone wants, few are willing to give. And that is why only a few are remembered. Legacy is not about what you say, it is about what you leave behind. Nobody will remember the man who lived for himself, who wasted his time, who chased fleeting pleasures. But everyone will remember the man who sacrificed himself for a vision greater than him, the man who sacrificed his nights so his family could live better, the man who sacrificed his comfort to build something that changed lives, the man who sacrificed his selfish desires to create something eternal. Sacrifice makes you valuable. It makes your story worth telling. It makes your life worth remembering. There is a reason comfort is so dangerous. Comfort is addictive. It whispers that you can have both success and ease, greatness and laziness, legacy and pleasure, but that is a lie. Comfort is the enemy of legacy because comfort steals your hunger. Sacrifice is the antidote. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you disciplined. It keeps you focused on what truly matters. The man who learns to love sacrifice cannot be beaten because he understands that every loss is not a loss, but a trade for something greater. When people look at you years from now, when they hear your name, when they tell your story, they will not talk about what you consumed. They will not talk about what pleasures you enjoyed. They will talk about what you gave up to build what you left behind. They will respect you for what you endured, what you denied yourself, what you chose to sacrifice so that others could benefit. That is legacy. Legacy is not built by takers, it is built by givers. So if you want to live a life that outlasts you, a life that people respect, a life that echoes after death, then embrace sacrifice. Sacrifice comfort, sacrifice laziness, sacrifice distraction, sacrifice whatever it takes to honor your vision. The pain of sacrifice is temporary, but the pride of legacy is forever. When you sacrifice, you are not just building your future, you are inspiring others. You are proving what is possible. You are planting seeds that will grow into something greater than yourself. That is the true reward. Sacrifice creates legacy because legacy requires proof of commitment. Words fade, actions remain, and sacrifices echo louder than promises. People may not see your sacrifices today, but one day they will see the results and understand the price you paid. And when they do, your name will carry weight, your life will carry meaning, and your story will carry power. That is the destiny of those who embrace sacrifice. That is how you win, and that is how you are remembered. Effort beats excuses because excuses are the language of the weak, while effort is the language of the victorious. Excuses sound good to the ear, they give temporary comfort, they let you feel justified in your failure, but they don't change your reality. Excuses do not build muscle, they do not put money in the bank, they do not create discipline or respect. Effort, on the other hand, may be painful, may be exhausting, may feel unfair, but effort always produces movement. It always produces growth. It always produces results. The world doesn't reward excuses, it rewards results, and the only way to produce results is through effort. Think about it. Every time you make an excuse, nothing changes. You stay exactly where you are. Every time you put in effort, something shifts. Maybe it's small, maybe it's slow, but you are moving forward. Excuses chain you to mediocrity, effort pulls you toward greatness. That's why people who live in excuses never rise. They blame the economy, they blame their parents, they blame bad luck, they blame the world. They say it's too hard, they say they're too tired, they say it's unfair. And while they waste time justifying failure, someone else is putting in the effort and building the life they dream about. Excuses are easy because they require nothing of you. Effort is hard because it demands everything of you. Excuses protect your ego but destroy your potential. Effort hurts your ego but builds your future. The choice is always yours. Every time you face a challenge, you either choose to make an excuse or you choose to put in the work. The path of excuses feels easier in the moment, but it leads to a lifetime of regret. The path of effort feels harder in the moment, but it leads to a lifetime of pride. The truth is, nobody cares about your excuses. You can list them all day long, but the world will keep moving. Bills still come due, responsibilities still exist, and opportunities still pass by. Excuses do not stop life, they only stop you. The man who makes excuses and the man who puts in effort live in the same world, but their realities are completely different. One wakes up to a life of regret, the other wakes up to a life of results. The difference is not luck, it's not privilege, it's not destiny, it's effort. Effort is proof that you are serious. Anybody can talk about goals, anybody can dream, anybody can write plans, but effort is the evidence that separates talkers from doers. You don't earn respect by speaking, you earn respect by sweating, by grinding, by doing what others refuse to do. When people see your effort, they know you mean business. When people see your excuses, they know you are weak. And the most important person who sees this is you. Every time you make an excuse, you teach yourself to accept weakness. Every time you put in effort, you teach yourself to believe in your own power. Effort compounds over time. One day of effort may not change your life, but 1 year of consistent effort will make you unrecognizable. Excuses compound too. One excuse may feel harmless, but years of excuses will rot your entire potential. Every day you are making deposits into one of two banks, the bank of effort or the bank of excuses. The bank of effort pays you interest in growth, strength, and results. The bank of excuses pays you nothing but regret. Effort is also the great equalizer. You may not be the smartest, the strongest, the most talented, or the most connected, but if you are willing to put in more effort than everyone else, you will eventually win. Talent without effort dies in mediocrity. Intelligence without effort fades into wasted potential, but even an average man with relentless effort can build an extraordinary life. Because while the talented are sleeping, while the smart are overthinking, while the privileged are wasting time, the one who puts in the effort is moving forward, slowly, steadily, unshakably, and eventually effort outruns them all. Excuses are comforting lies. Effort is painful truth. Excuses tell you that it's not your fault. Effort tells you to take responsibility. Excuses keep you soft. Effort makes you hard. Excuses keep you in the crowd. Effort separates you from the crowd. If you want to win, you must hate excuses with the same passion that you love results. You must train yourself to reject excuses the moment they enter your mind. Every time you feel an excuse rising, attack it with action. Don't let weakness speak louder than your will. Life is hard, that is a fact. You will be tired, you will face setbacks, you will fail, you will be rejected, you will be hurt. Excuses are the easy reaction to hardship. Effort is the powerful response. Every time life knocks you down, you can excuse yourself into staying down, or you can put in the effort to rise again. The ones who rise again and again are the ones who eventually win, not because they never struggled, but because their effort always outlasted their excuses. Effort creates pride, excuses create shame. Look back on any time in your life when you gave your full effort. You feel proud, even if you didn't win, because you know you gave your all. Now look back on the times you made excuses. You feel shame, you feel regret, you feel weakness, because deep down you know you cheated yourself. You can lie to the world, but you can't lie to the man in the mirror. He knows whether you put in the work or you hid behind excuses. In the end, your life will be a reflection of your effort, not your excuses. Nobody writes books about excuses. Nobody builds statues for excuses. Nobody remembers excuses. People remember effort. They remember the ones who worked, who struggled, who kept going. Legacy is not built by the excuse makers. It is built by the effort givers. That is the truth. So you must choose right now. Will you live as the person who always had an excuse, or the person who always gave effort? Will your story be filled with reasons why you couldn't, or proof that you did? Will you end your life wishing you had tried, or proud that you gave everything you had? The choice is yours every single day. Excuses or effort, weakness or strength, regret or pride. Effort beats excuses always. Because excuses will never move you forward. Excuses will never make you strong. Excuses will never bring you victory. Effort might hurt. Effort might take time, effort might demand sacrifice, but effort will always bring you closer to the life you want. And if you give relentless, unstoppable, unshakable effort, then nothing, and I mean nothing, can stop you from winning. At the end of the day, winning is not an accident, it is a decision. It is not something that falls into your hands because you were lucky. It is something you carve with your blood, sweat, and unshakable will. Life does not hand out victories to the weak. It hands out lessons, pain, and regret. But to the strong, to the disciplined, to the ones who refuse to quit, life eventually hands over the trophy. Not because the world is fair, but because the world respects effort, persistence, and sacrifice. You've heard it all today. Discipline over motivation, pain as the path to power, mindset making the difference, sacrifice creating legacy, and effort destroying excuses. These are not just words. These are the foundations of every champion who has ever lived. These are the truths that separate those who talk from those who do. These are the rules of winning, and they don't change for anyone. And here's the truth, you don't get to win once and then relax. Winning is a lifestyle. Every single day, the world will test you. It will whisper excuses in your ear. It will tempt you with comfort. It will push you to settle. And every single day, you will have a choice to fall into weakness or to rise into strength. To hide behind excuses or to fight with effort, to give in to pain or to use pain as fuel, to seek comfort or to chase discipline, winning is not about beating someone else, it is about beating yourself. The old version of you, the weaker version of you, the lazy, distracted, excuse-making version of you. Every time you step forward with discipline, every time you embrace pain, every time you control your mind, every time you sacrifice for the bigger picture, every time you choose effort over excuses, you kill that weaker version of yourself and give birth to the stronger one. That is the battle, and it happens every single day. But let me warn you, this path is not easy. If you want easy, you will never win. If you want comfort, you will never taste greatness. If you want guarantees, you will never feel the fire of victory. Winning demands more than most people are willing to give. That is why so few actually win. But here's the beauty. If you are willing to give what others refuse to give, if you are willing to work while they sleep, fight while they complain, rise while they rest, you will live the life they only dream about. So here's my challenge to you. When you walk out of this room, don't just clap. Don't just feel inspired for a few hours. Don't just post a quote on social media. Live it, apply it. Demand more from yourself than you ever have before. Wake up earlier, train harder, focus longer, cut the excuses, chase discipline, embrace pain, guard your mindset, make sacrifices, and above all, put in the effort every single day, because one day, years from now, you will look back on this moment. You will ask yourself, did I choose to win or did I choose to waste? And in that moment, the man or woman in the mirror will answer. Make sure that answer is pride, not regret. Make sure that answer is victory, not defeat. Make sure that answer is proof you gave everything you had. This is how you win. And if you truly commit, if you decide right now that nothing will break you, nothing will stop you, nothing will silence your fire, then I promise you, no matter how long it takes, you will win.